ready for what they know will be a big test at the Cherry Red Records Stadium. Kingsmeadow, once the home of Kingstonian, and now the home, temporarily at least, of AFC Wimbledon. Wimbledon, who've morphed from the club who won the FA Cup back in 1988. And my co-commentator this evening, Ray Houghton, was part of a Liverpool team beaten at Wembley in what was the highlight of the Wimbledon team known as the Crazy Gang.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. And as you say, they moved on from that position that we're in. This is a tough game for them tonight when you look at the opposition that they're up against. West Ham is overwhelming favourites going into this game. They have to match the energy of this AFC Wimbledon side if they're going to get a victory.
AFC Wimbledon currently bottom of League One, bottom of the third tier in England, 8 points from safety. Tonight they take on West Ham United for the second time this season. This time around it's the Emirates FA Cup. Back in August, West Ham won here 3-1 in the EFL Cup, the League Cup in England. A huge occasion for AFC Wimbledon. Can they produce an FA Cup upset? AFC Wimbledon are in desperate trouble at the bottom of League One. The FA Cup has brought some much-needed cheer. Manager Wally Downs, once a West Ham coach, has decided to ring the changes. Rod McDonald is back after 6 weeks out, injured. There's a full debut for new signing Dylan Connolly, who has arrived at Wimbledon from the Republic of Ireland, and Kwesi Appiah, who scored the winner in the last minute at Fleetwood in round 3, is back after recovering from a hamstring injury. West Ham United have a Premier League fixture against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Tuesday to focus upon as well. Rigors, Fabianski, Zabaleta and Nasri sit this one out. Talented Grady Diangana, just 20, is given another chance to impress, while Javier Hernandez and Andy Carroll look to boost their fitness levels. No Marko Arnautovic, although he says he'll commit to West Ham after speculation that he was ready to join a club in China during this January window. Wet and blustery in southwest London. Big opportunity for AFC Wimbledon to impress, and their first home fixture in the FA Cup this season. First round win at Haringey Borough, another win over non-league opposition when they defeated FC Halifax Town in the second round, before a dramatic win over Fleetwood of League One in round 3. Last minute winner from Kwesi Appiah. They led 2-0 on that occasion, AFC Wimbledon, but Fleetwood scored 2 in 2 minutes to level. A second penalty after a Tenai Watson foul. Watson, one of those in the AFC Wimbledon huddle. Mikel Antonio showing his adaptability, yes, again for West Ham United, because he'll be operating the right back position, can play as a winger, can play as an out-and-out striker. Wally Downs, who wasn't in charge of AFC Wimbledon when the FA Cup campaign began. Pellegrini has been on the wrong end of a couple of FA Cup upsets in his previous spell in England with Manchester City. Home defeats to both Wigan and Middlesbrough. It is West Ham United who get this Emirates FA Cup fourth round tie underway. The team currently 10th in the Premier League against the team who are currently bottom of the third tier in England, AFC Wimbledon. Anthony Taylor is our referee this evening, in charge of the final 2 years ago when Arsenal defeated Chelsea. And also in charge of the fourth round last year when Wigan Athletic then of League One, defeated Manchester City. Can you see another upset this evening, Ray Howard?
Well, you wouldn't think so, Tony. You're Premier League players, Premier League quality, and if they take the game in the right way to AFC Wimbledon, they should have too much class for them. As I say, they've got to match the endeavour of this Wimbledon side. If they do that, get the ball wide, particularly with Dean Garner on the right-hand side, Mikel Antonio getting forward from the full-back positions. I think it's a very attack-minded West Ham side.
Mikel Antonio.
That's a perfect start, really, isn't it, Tony? Getting a quick corner kick in the second minute of the game, and you look at the size of the players this West Ham side. You've got Carroll, you've got Bonner, Diop, and also about the quality of the delivery. Looks like Snodgrass might have been over to that right-hand side to whip the ball in with his left foot, so you'll be trying to get across the markers here.
Andy Carroll, the obvious target, and he's won the header. Snodgrass again. And that's gone behind this time for a goal kick. Well, it was AFC Wimbledon who scored inside 2 minutes when these two teams met in the EFL Cup at the start of the season.
Yeah, he just misjudged the flight there, Andy Carroll, completely, didn't he? Because there was a decent delivery from Snodgrass, and eventually come back to Snodgrass, just tried to take it past Oshalaja. Just done a little bit too much on the ball there. Should have really got a cross in, fired it in low and hard, could have took a ricochet, could have gone anywhere.
Much needed start for Andy Carroll alongside Javier Hernandez. Two on their way back from injury. Well, we started only twice in the Premier League this season, including the 2-0 defeat at Bournemouth last weekend. Watson deciding to leave the throw. In by Pinnock. And away by Obiang.
That's the threat, there isn't that long throwing into the box there from Pinnock. Headed out to the edge of the box. Nightingale with a strike. Obiang really turned his back on it. It took a lot of the pace off of it, but it was easy for West Ham to clear the danger. What AFC Wimbledon will be hoping for is a quick start. You know, they want to try and press. That's the instructions from Wally Downs before the game. He doesn't want to give this West Ham team any time and space and possession of the ball.
Wally Downs in charge of AFC Wimbledon, having replaced Neil Ardley in December. Downs, one of the old Wimbledon crazy gang who had a time as a coach at West Ham United when Sam Allardyce was in charge. It's a relatively youthful and inexperienced Wimbledon backline. Watson, just 21, currently on loan from Reading of the Championship. Defender who has been recalled since Downs took over. Nightingale. Wimbledon finding some width, and that could have been awkward. It's Dylan Connolly who's been able to deliver the cross, the youngster who's been brought in during the January transfer window, starting for the first time for Wimbledon this evening.
That all came about from the pressing from Nightingale initially in the middle of the park. They won it out to the right-hand side. Connolly with a delivery, and it was actually defended well by Antonio at the far post there. Just signs from Wimbledon at the moment that they're starting to get a foothold in this game. Here's the ball played out wide. Good touch out his feet. Just got to play it across the face of the 6-yard box. See Antonio is under a bit of pressure there. Done the right thing to clear it. Maybe a little bit of good fortune.
Shilaja on the edge of West Ham's penalty area. Terrell Thomas ready to make his move, as is Will Nightingale. On by Connolly. The initial take was beautiful by Terrell Thomas. He couldn't quite get his foot around the ball. Terrific opportunity for AFC Wimbledon.
I tell you what, this is a golden opportunity. West Ham really don't deal with it on the edge of the box. Connolly with the ball just flighted back in. Question marks about offside. I think Apaya was, but certainly as the strike came in there from Thomas, he wasn't. Maybe a centre half in a forward position there, didn't really deal with it. Should have really made the goalkeeper Adrian work there. Just flighted his shot wide of the target.
Taylor Thomas, who's had to wait patiently for his chance at Wimbledon this season. He made his full debut at the start of November after Rod McDonald was hurt in the warm-up ahead of a home defeat to Shrewsbury. We've also been in FA Cup action today. McDonald also back for Wimbledon this evening, having overcome an injury which has kept him out since the start of December. Maybe a risk to bring him back, but Wimbledon deciding that they needed a little bit of experience in their back line.
Well, this is the lad, this Diangana, who playing on the right-hand side of midfield for West Ham. He's a natural left-footed player, so he always wants to come in field. He's a real threat. You can see there with Mark Noble hitting that diagonal ball to pick him out. He'll keep his width over on that right-hand side, and Wimbledon will have to be very aware of his ability in possession of the ball.
Done by Thomas. Apaya. Again by Wordsworth. Next up's challenge. Anthony Tell, the referee, decides to give West Ham the advantage. McDonald. Apaya gives chase. Antonio will get there first.
Well, we've seen Diop, the centre-back, making a run forward there. I'm not sure his manager, Pellegrini, will be too happy with that. You want him sitting, particularly early on in the game, to sit in that centre-back position alongside Ogbonna. You allow your midfielders to break forward from midfield, whether that be Obiang or Mark Noble.
Another unforced error by Adrian, who wasn't done too many favours by Masuaku with the back pass. There's going to be a free kick to Wimbledon right on the edge of the West Ham penalty area.
They've been a bit clumsy defensively, haven't they, West Ham? Connolly is making a nuisance of himself, just trying to get beyond Ogbonna. You can see Snodgrass coming back as well between them. You see Connolly going over. Referee straight away gave him the free kick, and this is a decent opportunity on the edge of the 18-yard box, and it's going to be Pinnock again with his left foot. He's going to angle this ball in.
This is an inviting angle for Mitch Pinnock, who was playing in the non-league with Dover last season. Whipped in by Pinnock, who's gone for goal. And that was well dealt with by Adrian.
Yeah, that was a wicked ball in, wasn't it, from the free kick. You see how he's arrowing it in. They weren't too far away. It may have been the skipper, Ojalaja, who was closest to it. He looked like he just ducked his head at the last moment there. I think if he was a little bit braver, he might have got a touch to that. Goalkeeper had to react quickly.
Done by Thomas. Thomas again. Well, he has managed to keep the ball in play. West Ham really haven't been able to sort themselves out defensively. Nightingale.
One of the problems got to, they're not winning the 50-50s. You know, every ball that's been there to be won, it's been an AFC Wimbledon player that's won it. And there they should have dealt with that. Shouldn't have been too much of a problem. It looked like the goalkeeper Adrian thought it was going to go out for a goal kick. Thomas didn't give up on it, and that really posed problems for West Ham defensively.
Wordsworth getting the better of Diangana. Whipped in by Wordsworth. Simply isn't any respite at the moment for the West Ham back line.
Well, he's been the man, isn't he, Thomas, on 2 occasions where he's looked to threat the strike that he should have done a lot better with there. He didn't give up on it. I think Adrian thought it was going to go out. You can see the balls bouncing around. He was quite brave there. Had it gone over the line, and you can see the assistant, he's not even up with play, so he couldn't make the call on it. Didn't look like it had gone over the line, but it's been a really positive start from the AFC Wimbledon.
Gary Bezic, the assistant on the near side. This is not an FA Cup tie this weekend, which will feature VAR. Impeccable control by Adrian, the goalkeeper, who's making his 150th appearance for West Ham this evening. Busy week ahead for Liverpool. Snodgrass. Now Hernandez. Behind for a corner.
Yeah, it looked like he just took a slight deflection en route through there. Off Watson, the full-back. Long ball played forward. Snodgrass was first on to it. Little ball played wide for Hernandez. It certainly took a deflection off Watson onto the post. It was a decent opportunity there for West Ham.
Then by Snodgrass, met by Carroll.
Difficult chance that, isn't it, when you're just going backwards. Didn't really come on to the ball. You can see he's just going back, tried to flick the header at it. Goalkeeper Ramsdale just watching it all the way, but this was the opportunity. Just watch the fullback, took a massive deflection, and I think the shot was actually angling towards the far post, which made it much more difficult for the goalkeeper. Very fortunate to see it come off the post there.
Noble. Masuaku. These two teams met in the EFL Cup back in August. AFC Wimbledon ahead through Joe Pigott inside 2 minutes. Then they had Ron McDonald sent off for 2 cautions after only 18 minutes. West Ham didn't equalise until beyond the hour mark. This is Diop with the equaliser. And then it was Diop who was able to clear.
They're not dealing with the long balls played downfield here. What they've got to try and do, AFC Wimbledon, is when they do play the long ball, get the midfielders a bit higher up the pitch to win that second ball.
Wimbledon of old were always happy to play the percentages game. Thinking about the long throw and then deciding against it. Snodgrass dispossessed. Pinnock.
He's got an eye for goal, Pinnock, isn't he? No question about it. Left-footed player. Wasn't particularly well taken throw, and I'm not sure what Snodgrass was doing there. He was robbed by Nightingale into the path of Pinnock. He could have actually reversed the ball back into the feet of Connolly. Made a good run in behind. Masuaku hadn't gone with the runner. He was free. He was certainly onside. You can't blame Pinnock for trying that left-footed shot, try to curl it in towards that far post.
Pinnock, who scored the winning goal against Haringey in the first round, came in the 90th minute. It was enough for Neil Ardley to keep his job as AFC Wimbledon manager.
Look, they've just changed the shape for this evening, AFC Wimbledon. They have gone with 4. Nightingale's actually just sitting in front of the back 4, and on either side of him, you've got Wordsworth and Wagstaff. And Pinnock is actually playing on the left-hand side. He's an actual left-footed player, but he's playing on the left, if you like, and he'll be trying to get to Antonio as much as possible.
Connolly. Coming away from Masuaku. And also getting beyond Noble. Wagstaff. It's a decent cross. Pinnock appeals for a handball on the edge of the West Ham penalty area, nothing doing.
Yeah, I think it was Obiang, the midfielder, who's dropping back into a central position on that occasion. I think that's where the question mark was, did he handle it or not? But we've seen Connolly's doing a lot of good work over this right-hand side, up against Masuaku, who's not a natural defender. And Ogbona's getting caught coming over to cover him, and isolating Diop in the middle on his own.
Helped on by Andy Carroll. That was awkward for Javier Hernandez. It's a better ball in from Mikel Antonio, one which Andy Carroll approved of.
Yeah, well, that's where Andy Carroll's at his best, isn't he? When he wins headers like that, but that's the wrong option. And the ball out to the left-hand side to Snodgrass. And this was the handball decision. The referee's in a good position to see it. Certainly it was. It come off Diop. Obiang was alongside him. The referee didn't spot it.
Away by Snodgrass. Terrell Thomas. Here's Watson. It's a terrific ball by Watson to release Wagstaff. And Bonner covering. AFC Wimbledon eager to get on with the game.
See, that's that ball in behind, because Masuaku's getting caught up the field a little bit. He's going to try to mark Connolly, so it leaves room for runners to run in behind, and that's up to the left side of the centre half to come across on the cover. And we've seen that from Ogbonna there, getting to Wagstaff to play the ball out for a throw into AFC Wimbledon.
Pinnock with a throw. He was met by Connolly. He was taking a hefty bump to the back of the head.
Yeah, it looked like a clash of heads there, wasn't it? Pinnock's thrown into a good area, isn't he? And then it's just, can you get a flicked header to it? And there's the throw-in coming in. I mean, he wasn't really looking at it, was he? I think it was Ogbonna that was alongside him. His arms were over the top of him there. You just see his arm come across him. And I think as he tried to flick the header, he might have even caught the chin of Ogbonna, but certainly Connolly came off the worst of the two. He started the game very well. It was 2 substitute appearances he's had since he came to the club. Wally Downs has given him his opportunity tonight, and he'd responded very well.
Connolly getting his second chance in England. He had a previous spell in England with Ipswich Town of the Championship before he returned to the Republic of Ireland to play for Dundalk, who were the double winners last season. Sometimes it is necessary for a career to go backwards to go forwards. 23 now, maybe better equipped for the demands of the full-time professional game in England.
Yeah, sometimes you come across as a young man and it's, it's just too much for you and you're not ready for it. And then you get a second chance and, your preparation's much better. You know what the league's about and you attack it in a different way and you make a success of it. And he started very well this evening.
How difficult is it to have complete focus when you're playing with the Premier League club or a top-flight club and you're confronted with a cup tie such as this one? West Ham, of course, successful against Birmingham for the Championship in the 3rd round. Snodgrass. He was creating an opening for himself.
Well, Hernandez with a shot there, Tony. He never looked set, did he? He never looked comfortable taking the strike on with his left foot. But on that occasion, you watch Watson, the fullback, he gets too tight to his 2 centre-halves and he's leaving a lot of room over on the left-hand side for Snodgrass. If he keeps his width, he'll get a lot of possession of the ball. Came in field, dropped his shoulder, got away from Watson. He wanted him to hit it with his right foot, but it wasn't right to do so. Squared it for Hernandez, but it was a really poor effort.
Penalised. Accidental rather than malicious. This is the furthest that AFC Wimbledon have got in the FA Cup, 4th round. In the 3rd round in the last 2 seasons, beaten to non-league Sutton United after replay, and also beaten at Wembley by Tottenham Hotspur. Connolly. It's another inviting cross, and it's another cross which West Ham have struggled to deal with.
I've got to say they defended really poorly at the moment. Whether it be Diop, his heading has been really poor. You know, he's not getting any height and any distance with it. He's putting his teammates under pressure. Connolly's just got half a yard on Masuaku, whipped into a great area, and Ogbona's coming in and just flashed his foot at it. Could have went anywhere.
Wordsworth with a header. Terrell Thomas.
Well, this is the build-up play. Lovely crossfield ball to pick out Connolly. You can see he just gets half a yard, whips it in. Look at that, really poor defending from Ogbonna. Just threw his left foot at it. I mean, as I say, he gets any contact on this could have went anywhere. And just fortunate for him there wasn't a AFC Wimbledon player coming at the back post, because that would have been a tap-in for him.
Midway point in the first half. Pinnock. Connolly. Watson providing support and a decoy run. Snodgrass penalised.
West Ham have just not settled at all, have they? All the palms. I don't think the shape of the team's helping them. You see how elusive Connolly is. He's got good close control. Snodgrass trying to get tight. Needless kick out there to give away the free kick. I just think with Obiang and Noble sitting, and they're very deep. When they play the long ball up to either Hernandez or Carroll, there's no one supporting.
And by Pinnock. He's out for a goal kick. West Ham have got the share of injuries just at the moment, particularly in defensive areas. When you think of the absences of Winston Reid, who's been out since the end of last season.
Well, you're right,
Bueno, a centre-half who's another one who's on the injured list.
Cresswell's not in the starting 11 tonight. Yeah, you make excuses for him, but these are Premier League players, you know, and you're expecting a lot more from them. It's been all Wimbledon for me so far. They've been the dominant force. They're the team that's on the front foot, taking the game to the opposition, and certainly Connolly, who's created 3 chances from this wide area, he's the threat. And I'm sure Wally Downs will be saying to his team, get the ball over to our right-hand side and try to isolate Connolly 1v1 against Masuaku.
Downs, who took over from Neil Ardley, who left by mutual consent after the 1-0 win over Haringey Borough in the first round of the FA Cup. The club chairman Eric Samuelson had said that Ardley would be given more time to turn results around, but they came to a decision to go their separate ways. It was well before Wimbledon actually appointed Wally Downs. He didn't arrive until the start of December. He's had to cope with a huge turnover of personnel from the team that struggled in League One last season to the one which started the current campaign with Neil Ardley. Their top scorer last season, Lyle Taylor, joined Charlton Athletic.
Well, watching this evening, Wally Downs will be wondering why they've underperformed of late. You know, why at the bottom of the league? Because what we've seen of them in the first 26 minutes of this game, you know, they've played very well, closed West Ham down, denied them space. They've looked a threat whenever they've got the ball wide, particularly with Connolly whipping some great balls into the box, and they've been aided from some poor defending from the West Ham back line.
That's the last 2 home games, beaten 4-1 by Barnsley last Saturday, beaten 3-0 at home by Fleetwood on Tuesday evening. So it's been a busy week for Wimbledon, and Down said after that defeat on Tuesday that it was perhaps the one performance he's seen from his team since he took over, which has displeased him. No shortage of effort, but no end product.
I don't think he's going to be too happy, Pellegrini, with what he's seen so far. You always question your players' attitude. You know, as I say, his massive favourites coming into this game. It's up to you to show your Premier League class. You've not seen it from the West Ham players so far. And I know there's a few players coming back from injury and they've not had a lot of minutes on the pitch. I just think the shape of the team hasn't worked so far.
Now Connolly. It's a beautiful cross in, and Pinnock just couldn't get enough on the header.
He was in a little bit too early, Tony. If you watch, there was a lovely build-up play up higher, a lovely ball to play. And look at Masuaku, caught square on, allowed the ball to get played in behind. He just takes a little look, plays into a decent area. But see how he's going backwards? That's really when you want your wide player to be coming in at pace and attacking it and powering the header beyond the goalkeeper.
Next up, bundled over. Wimbledon get the free kick.
Well, there's that header there. You can see it's an easy take for Adrian in the goal for West Ham. The AFC Wimbledon fans thought that was a decent opportunity. But once again, Connolly, the threat down this right-hand side. Masuaku, he's not a full-back. It's hard to be critical of him because he's a left wing-back or a left winger playing in that position.
And that was wasteful. Pinnock trying to be clever, but Terrell Thomas hadn't kept alert.
Oh, he should never be offside here. I mean, he's looking at the man on the ball instead of looking across the line. You know, the first look is across the line, make sure you're in an onside position. Then you adjust yourself to get a little bit wider. You're onside, easy take for you, and you could have delivered a decent ball in from a better angle.
Noble. Diangana, 20-year-old who's really struggled to get into the game so far.
I think games like this shows you how much you miss Arnautovic. You know, his threat up front, the power that he's got, the way that he holds the ball up, how he brings his midfielders into the game. I just think we're playing with the two central midfielders in Obiang and Noble. He's got no legs in there, and one of them's got to make the forward run. They've got to get higher up the field. You can see Obiang going deep to get like a third centre half, and then when the ball's played forward, look, he's 40-50 yards away from where he needs to be now.
Arnautovic, who's turned to social media in the last 24 hours to say that he will be staying with West Ham United. Lots of speculation that he was poised to make a move to China during this January transfer window. And his brother, his agent, was making all the right noises, but Arnautovic says that he's happy to stay, wasn't involved when West Ham lost at Bournemouth last weekend. Not involved this evening, but Manuel Pellegrini has made it clear that West Ham have other concerns this week. Nightingale. Wolves next for West Ham, and then a home fixture against Liverpool, one of Andy Carroll's former clubs. Noble. Done by Hernandez.
You see Snodgrass just floating around now. He's trying to get into a position where he can get on the ball and start some attacks for West Ham, but it's going to leave him a little bit light over on the side of the field. And Garner just changing positions with him at the moment.
Noble. Masuaku. Obiang.
Bit of a waste in the end, wasn't it? He could have played into the feet of Andy Carroll. This is a little bit earlier on where you've seen the pace of Watson. He gave Andy Carroll 5 yards and got beyond him quite comfortably. I think Carroll thought there was a foul, which wasn't spotted by the referee.
Andy Carroll on his way back from an operation on an ankle back in June of last year. The majority of his appearances so far this season have been off the bench as a substitute. It's been the story of his career.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, he's not had a real attempt at goal. West Ham haven't had a shot on target so far.
Wagstaff. Doing his best to tee up Wordsworth. Pinnock again, giving Snodgrass the slip. He did the first time.
You can see as soon as they get half a yard, they're trying to deliver the ball into the box at every opportunity. Certainly seen it from Conley in the right-hand side. Pinnock tried to do it from the left-hand side as well. Put this back line of West Ham under some pressure.
Wordsworth. Apaya. Shilaja. Apaya. Wimbledon in front, albeit with the help of a deflection. Connolly celebrates as well. West Ham opened up, Adrian beaten, and could we have a shock on our hands?
Quite to be honest with you, Tony, there's no shock they've taken the lead. They've been the better side. West Ham have been at 6s and 7s defensively, and it all came from a ball played forward. You've seen Andy Carroll, and it was played up to him. He's gone to ground. Skipper comes out with it. Little ball played through. Nice little touch. Certainly, no question, Apaya's onside. There's a strike coming in. I think it's Ogbonna just stuck out his right foot. There's the ball played forward. Lovely little touch into the path. There's a massive deflection. You can see Adrian going to his left-hand side. Had to try and change direction to make the save down at the right. Couldn't get anywhere near it, and this stadium is absolutely erupted that AFC Wimbledon have got the opening goal in this game.
Kwesi Appiah will claim that. AFC Wimbledon 1, West Ham United 0. The team who are bottom of League One in England at the moment have the advantage in this fourth round Emirates FA Cup tie. Appiah brought back for this game. He hasn't featured since the third round when he scored in the very last minute to give Wimbledon a 3-2 success at Fleetwood. And having been given the nod by Wally Downs, he has delivered. The old crazy gang were always prepared to bloody a few noses, and Wally Downs doing his best to put his stamp on the new Wimbledon. only formed in 2002, have made rapid progress through the leagues. We're currently struggling now at the bottom of League One.
Well, he said he had a game plan for this match, and it was about pressing West Ham United all over the park, and they've certainly done that. And that's how they led to the opening goal. Won the ball in a good area, forward ball. Good running off the ball there from Apaya. I mean, he's a decent strike, but the deflection certainly took it beyond Adrian in the goal. But they thoroughly deserve the 1 goal advantage they've got so far. Just wondering what Wally Downs will be saying to his team now. Look for a second. Are they going to sit back and allow West Ham back into the game? They've been so disappointed in West Ham in the opening half of this game. Second best all over the park.
How those two have enjoyed it. Aaron Ramsdale, a 20-year-old goalkeeper who's currently on loan at the moment, and Dylan Connolly, who perhaps can't believe his luck, having just arrived in England from the Republic of Ireland. Angelo Ogbonna reflecting on his intervention, which proved so costly for West Ham.
They've been fairly aggressive in the air. You can see Nightingale come across with a challenge on Hernandez, who just waited for it. He knew that he was coming in. It was a little bit too forceful from Nightingale. He's done a really good job though. He breaks up the play well, Nightingale, gives it nice and simply.
Nightingale, graduate of the AFC Wimbledon Academy. Wimbledon building again. It's perhaps apt that Kwesi Appiah has enjoyed so much success in the FA Cup this season. It was a breakaway goal in the very last minute at Fleetwood in round 3. He missed out on a possible meeting with Manchester United a few years back when he was at Cambridge United, but a striker born in London, in Camden, he decided to play for Guinea at the African Cup of Nations back in 2015 and had missed out when Cambridge United, who he was then playing for, drew 0-0 with Manchester United and then lost a replay.
Well, there was a free kick. Ogbonna coming across Appiah. I've got to say the two centre-halves, Diop and Ogbonna, have missed time just about every ball that's been played forward. They've not got a clean header on it, they haven't got any distance on it. They're giving so much encouragement to this AFC Wimbledon side. And here's another opportunity to deliver the ball into a good area for them.
They're keeping their fingers crossed for both Mitch Pinnock and Scott Wagstaff, the two over this Wimbledon free kick. Adriana's already had to deal with a difficult free kick from Pinnock. There's a thump from Wordsworth. And the follow-up wasn't too bad either.
I'll tell you what, it was a lovely strike from Wordsworth initially, wasn't it? Actually, it was a decent ball in from Pinnock. They dealt with it reasonably well. Header out to the edge of the box, strike came in. Just see that it was Antonio just stuck his left foot out there. I think that would have troubled Adrian in the goal for West Ham.
Wordsworth, who has been on target in the FA Cup this season in the 3-1 win over Halifax in the second round. Wimbledon successful against non-league opposition in rounds 1 and round 2. It's extraordinary, isn't it, when you consider how their league form has been so poor. They've been able to produce some excellent performances in the FA Cup, particularly in the third round where they had to dig deep. They were 2 up, don't forget, against Fleetwood, who won here in the league on Tuesday 3-0 and won quite comfortably. But in the Northwest in round 3, Wimbledon led by 2-0. They conceded 2 in 2 minutes, and then there was Appiah with a breakaway in the very last minute which steered them through 3-2. Not so much the magic of the FA Cup, but certainly the drama of the FA Cup.
Oh, this is a fabulous performance from AFC Wimbledon. And I said that Wally Downs will be questioning these players why they can perform like this. They're on the break here.
Wagstaff through the middle, and Wagstaff makes it 2. Well, what a night this is turning out to be. Never mind the crazy gang of old. This is proving a very resolute Wimbledon group. And it's woe upon woe for Manuel Pellegrini and West Ham. The Hammers are getting hammered.
Well, where's the defence, Tony? That's the simple question. How can Wagstaff just waltz through the middle of the pitch there without anyone putting a challenge in on him and just side-foot it past the goalkeeper, Adrian? It's from their possession. You can see Diop, ball played in. Obiang loses it. And you ask the player, where's Ogbonna? Why is he so high up the field? He should be in a covering position. Give the ball away there. Wagstaff's on, and he shouldn't be allowed to go through the middle of the park there, unopposed, and it's a clinical finish with his right foot just past it beyond Adrian into the back of the net. It was well won there by Apaya. He's onto it in a flash, Wagstaff, and that's a very good finish to double the lead for AFC Wimbledon. Look at the joy in the faces of both supporters and players. Can't believe it, they're 2-0 up against the Premier League side.
AFC Wimbledon 2, West Ham United 0. The comeback kids have got the goal. Kwesi Appiah back from injury, as is Scott Wagstaff. Wagstaff, who's not played since he was injured in a win at Wickham at the end of December.
Well, look at the coaching staff for West Ham. They can't believe what they've just witnessed in the 43 minutes that were played so far. It's been absolutely dreadful. I mean, some of these players for West Ham would be knocking on Pellegrini's door saying I should be in your starting 11. But when you see them play like this, you'd have to question why. I mean, an experienced defender like Ogbonna, to be caught out in the manner that he was there, so high up the field. Obiang gets caught in midfield, where he should be dealing with it. Credit AFC Wimbledon from Appiah with the little ball played through to Wagstaff. And then he finished it with such aplomb, just passed it into the corner beyond Adrian. I can tell you now, the AFC Wimbledon players don't want half time. They want to go right through the 90 minutes. They're absolutely loving this first half performance.
Nightingale made a late run forward. Adrian didn't make any attempt to get to the ball then. Well, every time Wimbledon get a free kick, they create havoc for the West Ham defence.
Well, who's picking up Ojalaja at the back post? I mean, it just comes down to the marking, the ill discipline of the West Ham defenders. It's not a bad ball across the face of the goal, and you can see Thomas was coming in at the far post, just couldn't react quickly enough to get a touch on it.
Been a horror show for Manuel Pellegrini and his assistant Ruben Casillas.
Surely Tony's got to make changes at half-time, change the shape of the team, and the attitude hasn't been good. They've had more possession than the AFC Wimbledon, but it's in areas like this where they can't affect the game. Look, you can see Ogbonna plays it in the Obiang, can't get turned on it, he's under pressure, has to play it back to his goalkeeper. Now he's gone back to a deep lying third centre half. You've like, look where Noble's gone. These are your two central midfielders, how deep they are, and then the gaps between them and the strikers is absolutely huge.
Yeah. Antonio. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. That's an additional minute minimum. Shake of the head, some glum faces amongst those West Ham United followers. The old Wimbledon and West Ham met 27 times in total. The last time was back in 2004. They've also met in the FA Cup previously. Wimbledon were then in the second tier. They were managed by Dave Bassett. They drew at Plough Lane 1-1. Lost the replay 5-1. Harry Downs was left out of the team that night by Harry Bassett, but his assistant Glyn Hodges did play, and he hit a post in the first game. Where it's been all AFC Wimbledon in the first half. Kwesi Appiah returning from injury, putting them in front. A shot which took a deflection off Angelo Ogbonna, and then the West Ham United defence opened up completely. Dreadful defending to allow Scott Wagstaff to go through, but Wagstaff kept his nerve. Now Wally Downs and his team have to keep their nerve for another 45 minutes. Manuel Pellegrini and West Ham with their all to do in this Emirates FA Cup fourth round tie at Kingsmeadow. It's AFC Wimbledon 2, West Ham United 0. League One. And the team from League One have a 2-0 lead over West Ham United of the Premier League at half-time in this Emirates FA Cup fourth round tie. West Ham have made 3 changes at the interval. Some details in just a moment. Anderson is coming on. Lucas Perez is coming on. And Ryan Fredericks is coming on. AFC Wimbledon eager to get on with this, and who can blame them? Could be a famous night for the team from southwest London, who effectively folded when they moved to Milton Keynes, or the former Wimbledon moved to Milton Keynes. It meant that those who stayed loyal to the borough and stayed loyal to their former club, who didn't like the idea of a franchise, had to start again. And they started back in 2002, and now they're on the verge of perhaps their most famous win. Only ever once beaten a team from a higher division, and that was when they joined the Football League again in 2011. There's Ryan Fredericks just back from injury. Lucas Perez up front. So the AFC Wimbledon support will say more of the same. Manuel Pellegrini has doubtless told his West Ham players at half-time, you must do better. And he has responded to a dreadful first half by making 3 changes. Lucas Perez on in place of Andy Carroll. Change up front. Pedro Obiang at fault for the second goal, replaced by Felipe Anderson. And Ryan Fredericks back after injury is also on. These are the 3 brought on. It's the 3rd goal, can you believe it? And it's the 2nd for Scott Wagstaff, set up by Kwesi Appiah, where the changes make no difference at all. 3 changes for West Ham. They've now conceded a 3rd goal. It's extraordinary. It's an inept performance from the team from the Premier League, and he knows it.
Take nothing away from the build-up play though, Tony, from AFC Wimbledon. And the fans, you can see, they're still eating the pies and hot dogs from half-time. Can't believe the start they've had to the second half. They're probably expecting West Ham to come out quick and pressurise them. It's Wimbledon that's gone on the front foot. A really poor header from Ogbonna. Marking's dreadful. You can see Fredericks got caught out there. Diop doesn't close down. Ball's played over the head of Ogbonna. Masuaku, who should be on the cover, allows Wagstaff to get ahead of him. It's a clinical finish. It really is. Wonderful. Outside of the right foot, into the corner, beyond Adrian in the goal.
Well, every picture tells a story, and that shows the frustration felt by Manuel Pellegrini. It's a West Ham team, don't forget, that at the start of the season started with a series of defeats in the Premier League. He kept his nerve then. West Ham lost their first 4 games. He seemed to be the calming influence on the touchline. The former certainly revived in the Premier League in a very good December. But they've started the new year indifferently, and they're now heading out of the FA Cup. Here's Ryan Fredericks. Noble. Antonio taking on Pinnock. Getting beyond Pinnock. Poured away by Ramsdale, the goalkeeper. Antonio again goes down, and then told to get to his feet by Anthony Taylor, the referee.
Well, wasn't there a little nudge there on Antonio? I think it was McDonald who was playing in the left back position. I think it just barged into the back of him. What they can't afford to do at the moment, AFC Wimbledon, is allow West Ham back into it.
Anderson. Antonio giving a helping push by Rod McDonald.
Well, I think could have done a little bit better. He's off balance slightly, but instead of going for power, that's what you just got to do. Show a little bit of guile, just get a bit of purchase on the ball and nestle it into the far corner. He's went for power and made a complete hash of it.
They are the team that came from nowhere. Vinnie Jones, one of those who features in that mural, who was in the Wimbledon team that enjoyed FA Cup success back in 1988, is at Kingsmeadow this evening, as is Dickie Guy, the goalkeeper, who was a hero for the former Wimbledon when they were in the non-league and created some FA Cup history.
Any ball over the top, the West Ham backline are in all sorts of trouble. No one's taking command of that area of the field. You see Connolly coming in, Masuaku's allowed him to get in front of him. The goalkeeper has to react quickly. The 2 centre-halves, without seeing Diop and Ogbonna, look like they don't want to be out there at the moment.
Wordsworth. Antonio getting away from McDonald, who's returned to the starting 11 this evening after an ankle problem. Chris Apaya back and on the score sheet, having overcome a hamstring injury.
Well, the question here for the referee, whether he's going to book Nightingale, said about how tenacious he is sitting in front of that back 4. I think there with a challenge on Perez, he just went in a little bit too eager. I don't think there's any intent to hurt Perez, but certainly caught him there.
Anderson. Snodgrass. Noble. Noble gets a second opportunity. Anderson. West Ham spent the best part of £100 million sterling in the summer months.
See, I've got to be honest with you, I think that's a great ball in from Fredericks. He's put it in a great area. No one's attacking it. Everyone's come towards the ball. As we see the third goal, there's Wagstaff getting ahead of Masuaku. A real class finish, wasn't it, with the outside of his right foot. Just nestled in that far corner. You can see how annoyed Pellegrini is with his defence there. No pressure on the ball. They allowed Apaya just to float the ball into a decent area. You see Wagstaff getting ahead of the defender, Masuaku. It was an excellent finish.
Antonio. And again by Lucas Perez. Snodgrass. Anderson. Carol Thomas, who eventually brings the ball away with the assistance of Wagstaff. And the break is on, led by Connolly. Real burst of acceleration, stride for stride with Noble. And then he showed too much of the ball to Angelo Ogbonna. Ogbonna, who got in the way of the shot from Apaya after 34 minutes. Shot that deflected out of the reach of Adrian to give AFC Wimbledon the lead, a lead which was extended when Scott Wagstaff ran through and challenged after an error by Pedro Obiang. And now it's Wagstaff who's got the third goal for Wimbledon.
Well, I said before a ball was kicked, what West Ham is the favourites, odds-on favourites for this game. What you have to do as the Premier League side, you've got to match the enthusiasm of the opposition. They haven't done that. You know, they've been second best all over the park. AFC Wimbledon have got the goals at the right time, and the scoreline reflects how they've played. They're the ones that have created the more chances. I think with Anderson being on now, he's a real threat for West Ham United, so AFC Wimbledon have got to be careful of him because he's the playmaker and he's got a bit of pace about him and he can get in behind this back line.
Well done by Anderson, looking for Antonio. Antonio using his body strength to hold off the challenge of McDonald. Anderson again. Here's Fredericks, getting his first run out after a shin injury. And Fredericks in behind the Wimbledon defence, who stand firm again.
Well, good defending there from Wordsworth, though, wasn't it? Better build-up play from West Ham. You need a runner in behind. You got that from Fredericks. Lovely threaded ball through from Anderson to pick him out. There's the options, and that's where you miss your Andy Carroll, because you've got to hit the ball low and hard because you've got Hernandez in there. And Wordsworth's position was very good.
Whipped in by Snodgrass. Well swiped by Diop. Will be another West Ham corner.
That's a better chance than you think, you know. You should have got better contact on that. Ojalaja, I think, who was picking him up, just got away from him initially, but as he went to take the shot on, he didn't get really good purchase on it. Came off the defender and out for another corner for West Ham.
In again by Snodgrass. Wagstaff. Looking again to utilise the pace of Connolly. Snodgrass. Anderson. Now Fredericks. Scooped over the top of the crossbar by Javier Hernandez.
They're the chances you have to take. You know, that's better build-up play. Certainly with Fredericks, you've got full-back. He likes to get into advanced positions. Good take initially. Delivered into a decent area. Snatched it really, didn't he? Leaning back slightly. You can see how frustrated he is that he didn't ask questions of the goalkeeper, Ramsdale, there. Took it over the top of the crossbar.
There is Dickie Guy, the goalkeeper who was Wimbledon's hero back in 1974. Now the club president. He was in goal when Wimbledon were a non-league team. Defeated Leeds United, the year when Leeds went on to play in the European Cup final. So he was determined to be at the fixture this evening because he missed the EFL Cup encounter between these two clubs back in August.
Connolly's making some good runs. You know, in the first half, Tony predominantly stayed wide on that right-hand side, but he's making some good angle runs in behind the two centre-halves, who either one of them are really picking up his run. They've been caught ball watching far too often.
Snodgrass. If West Ham are to get back into this game, they need a goal and they need one quickly. Javier Hernandez. Antonio. Now Noble. Fredericks. Noble again looking to carve an opening. West Ham have to settle for a corner kick.
Well, I've had 2 or 3 quick corner kicks from this right-hand side. Snodgrass has been whipping him with his left foot, but he's got no height on him. You know, he's hit the first man on a couple of occasions. With Diop coming forward, or Bonner. Well, they're the two that you should really be aiming for, to see if either one of them really makes a run across the two defenders at the near post.
In by Snodgrass. Snodgrass again. Fredericks. It's a fine save by Ramsdale. But West Ham are able to pull a goal back Lucas Perez following up. West Ham given a bit of hope.
Well, it's been coming, isn't it? Because they really have put AFC Wimbledon under pressure. It's Fredericks being the one down this right-hand side. Came from this delivery in. There's the header out. Didn't really go and close it down quickly enough. West Ham retained possession of the ball. Snodgrass with the ball into Fredericks. He's whipped it across the 6-yard box. Keeper's made a decent save initially. A really good finish from Perez with his left foot. Hitting it low and hard across the goalkeeper. Plenty of pace on it. Gave Ramsdale no chance whatsoever. And all of a sudden, the stadium's gone a bit quiet now that West Ham have got that goal back.
12 minutes of the second half played. Lucas Perez reducing the deficit. Wagstaff is on a hat-trick, of course. Connolly. Shepherded away by Masuaku. I just wonder if one or two in the Wimbledon lineup will start to feel the strain, given that they played in League One on Tuesday evening.
Not only that, Tony, it's all the energy they put into the opening 58 minutes of this game. Sometimes when you've got a 3-0 advantage, what you do, you sit off the game, you actually sit back, which gives encouragement for the opposition to get on the ball and create opportunities.
Pinnock with a throw. Done by Wagstaff. Javier Hernandez. Antonio just had to check his run. Really good work by Mikel Antonio. And his industry rewarded with another West Ham corner kick.
See, we didn't see this in the first half from West Ham because the build-up play was too slow, ponderous. All of a sudden, 3-0 down, they've upped the tempo, they're passing it quicker, they're moving in behind. Antonio and Fredericks are dovetailing well over this right-hand side.
Whipped in by Snodgrass and put over the top by the goal scorer, Lucas Perez.
I just wonder if he went with his wrong foot, you know. Did he go with his left, really, when he should have went with his right? I mean, in there, yes, he's not confident taking it on with his right foot. That would have been the easier option. He just tried to flicker it with the outside of his left foot. Couldn't keep it down as it came in, but he certainly kept this one down. Plenty of pace on that strike across the goalkeeper. So yeah, West Ham back at 3-1.
He's back in England, signing for West Ham after he'd been loaned out by Arsenal to Deportivo La Coruña back in Spain, relegated at the end of last season, despite his 9 goals. Three changes for West Ham at half-time. Wimbledon poised to make their first alteration. Adrian out of position. Must have pulled a goal back, but that's not to say that Wimbledon might not get another goal or two, given the confusion which sometimes reigns in West Ham's back line. Mikel Antonio. Mitch Pinnock about to go off for Wimbledon. Here's Anderson. West Ham's record signing. They paid £40 million sterling for him. The Brazilian who arrived from Lazio of Italy. Touch on it earlier in the second half, Ray. They spent the best part of £100 million last summer, West Ham.
But it just look like they've got more energy about them. They're getting around the pitch a lot better. They pass the ball a lot quicker than they were. With Fredericks on this right-hand side, he's always an option for them. Antonio's pushing forward on that right-hand side of midfield.
Fredericks. Noble. Snodgrass. Snodgrass having much more of an influence on the game since half-time. Antonio bursting forward at every opportunity alongside Fredericks.
Well, just look at that possession start for the last 10 minutes. West Ham 81%. Totally controlling the game at the moment. It took them to go 3-0 down before they've really got started and made an impact in the game. And they look the more threatening at the moment to score the next goal, if there is going to be another goal in this game.
Well gathered by Ramsdale.
That's Anderson on that left-hand side, very elusive player, got plenty of ability, whipped it in with pace, far too close to the goalkeeper. There's a lot of encouragement for West Ham at the moment. Certainly the AFC Wimbledon players just look like they've gone off the pace. That goal that West Ham got seems to have rattled them, not getting close enough to the West Ham players at the moment.
Molly Downs has decided it's time for experience. It will be Tom Sawers who will come on as a substitute. Experienced midfielder who has played in the Premier League with Crystal Palace many years ago. Ryan Fredericks. Antonio.
It's fairly evident, Tony, how much AFC Wimbledon have been pushed back now. Virtually camped on the 18-yard line at the moment. West Ham are bossing possession of the ball. Certainly down this right-hand side with Fredericks and Mikel Antonio. They look threatening.
Antonio. He's worth a try.
So strong in possession, isn't he? They're powerful to get away from his marker. Donald initially, and then Nightingale it came across. Just wonder if it took a slight deflection off Nightingale en route through there. I'm not seeing all the officials seen it.
Mitch Pinnock being replaced. An opportunity for Tom Sawers. He hasn't featured since he came on as a substitute against Blackpool at the end of December. 25 minutes remaining and a few instructions from Sawers. Willie Downs deciding that it's time to make a change, both in personnel and a change in tactics, perhaps.
Maybe just change the shape around ever so slightly. You can see Sawers has gone into a central position alongside Nightingale.
Snodgrass. Fredericks found by Noble. Anderson. Hoisted forward by Sawers. Remember, we're not committing too many forward. Wagstaff. Pye, good hold-up play to hold off Diop. Wagstaff. Fredericks slides in. And that's going to be a yellow card.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent challenge initially, but it's the follow-through from Fredericks. I think it's a Pye that's gone to ground. Some of the ball was played in here. It's that follow-through. Caught the striker, wins the ball there, but then just as his foot comes up, you see it just catches this AFC Wimbledon striker. The referee's in the position to see it. I don't think there's any real intent. That's going to happen in football. You follow through, your foot's going to come up. Fredericks very disappointed to give away the free kick, and he's got a yellow card for his troubles as well.
Fredericks, who featured for the under-23s earlier this week, having just returned from a shin injury, and it may well be a shin problem for Kwesi Appiah.
That's Appiah's goal in the first half with that massive deflection off Bonner, and then Wagstaff going through. Lovely finish beyond the goalkeeper Adrian, and Pye with the ball in, and that's a really clinical finish with the outside of the right foot to nestle in that bottom corner.
Hasn't exactly been a cup of cheer for West Ham in recent years. It's 5 years ago that St Allardyce put out a second string at Nottingham Forest. Adrian was in goal on that occasion, and they got thumped 5-0.
Yeah, he played a lot of the youngsters that day, took a big gamble. And when you think back to West Ham, yeah, they've been in 1 or 2 finals over the years, but 39 years since their last trophy, when they won the FA Cup against Arsenal in 1980, with Trevor Brooking getting the only goal of the game.
New fledgling pro. It's come right the way through to Oshilaja.
Not the player really that you want in possession of the ball in that area of the field. Didn't sort his feet out quickly enough to get the ball in, but the marking from West Ham once again, Tony, dreadful. You'd be very worried, and should give huge encouragement to AFC Wimbledon that when they do get free kicks or any set plays, if they deliver the ball into a good area, they're going to get more chances.
Roy Downs, who missed the final against Liverpool back in 1988, he was on his way out of Wimbledon. He was at Sheffield United then. They were preparing for a playoff fixture. Can you imagine that these days? It was a playoff game on the day of the final. Lucas Perez. Anderson, tight angle for him. And Watson had him covered.
Yeah, he done well there, Watson, because when he gets into his running, Anderson, he's very, very quick. He's got quick feet. You can see here, he wants to take them on, wants to get beyond them. He's not trying to shoot, he's just trying to play the ball across the 6-yard box, but the fullback stuck to his task well there to make that challenge on him.
Just over 20 minutes remaining. Knocked away by McDonald, got there ahead of Ramsdale, the goalkeeper. Nightingale. It's going to be a real rearguard action from Wimbledon.
Well, it's going to be a long last 20 minutes for the Wimbledon players and management.
Anderson. Held up by Watson. That's a really hefty tumble for Snodgrass.
I think that's Nightingale once again. He'd be very fortunate to pick up a yellow card. That's 3 or 4 instances that he's gone in late, he's left his foot there. It's a poor effort, wasn't it, to try and win the ball, and it's a decent area for West Ham to deliver the ball in from.
Tank is almost empty for 1 or 2 wearing blue scents at the moment.
Just wonder if Anderson, it's not the greatest of angles. 3 in the wall for AFC Wimbledon at the moment. I mean, the goalkeeper must make sure he gets that near post covered. Well, he takes the strike on here. Good technician.
Ramsdale happy, he's got all his angles covered. Anderson, who's beaten him. Another for West Ham, a magnificent free kick by Felipe Anderson. They're clawing their way back. They trail now 3-2.
We just wonder, Tony, if they got his wall right here, the goalkeeper, Ramsdale. Because you always thought you were going to take the shot on. There's no question about it. I'm not sure they actually protected it. They go over the top of it. I think it was Diop who was in the wall for West Ham. He just ducked, didn't he? When he hits the ball in here, just watch, there's the duck. No one in the way of it. Goalkeeper's trying his level best to get to his right-hand side to make the save, but that's a fabulous free kick from Anderson. And certainly the substitutes for Pellegrini have worked wonders. 2 quick goals, one from Perez, one from Anderson. And at 3-2, it's certainly game on now.
It was going to be nervy at 3-1. It's certainly going to be nervy at 3-2 for Wally Downs and the Wimbledon support, who've been in full voice since the very start, sensing that this team was about to make a little bit of history. Oshilaja. Now the skipper needs help, or maybe he doesn't need any help. He's away from Antonio. They're appealing for a handball, but they'll have to settle for a corner kick.
Yeah, it came off Fredericks. Fredericks was the one that came out to close him down. Lovely piece of skill though, wasn't it, to get away from Antonio. He can't be beaten that easily. He just tried to curl the ball in. Fredericks just stood up nice and tall. But this is where they are a threat.
Wordsworth with the corner kick. Adrian decides to stay on his line. Soares. West Ham look to counter quickly. Anderson available to Antonio. And that's a magnificent interception by Connolly. And not only that, he's been able to keep the ball in play.
Great endeavour there from Connolly, wasn't it? But what a quick break from West Ham United. So they couldn't have done it in the first half of the personnel that they had. Second half, bringing on Fredericks, Anderson, two quick players that can get beyond the back line of the opposition. Snodgrass playing in a much higher position up here, in a central position. So in the first half, Obiang was so deep alongside Noble. Second half, they pushed much higher up the field and put the central midfielders of AFC Wimbledon under a bit of pressure.
Second change for Wimbledon is imminent. Connolly happy to take a breather.
Yeah, it was clever from Connolly. He just waited for the contact from Anderson. He had no support whatsoever. He was all on his own on that left-hand side. I think he's just feeling the pace.
As the score of the first goal is going off, Kwesi Appiah just back from injury. Hamstring problem which has kept him out since the third round. Jervis will be his replacement.
The fairness to him, he's done well to last as long as the 75th minute. You'll remember this, won't he? It looked like he was going to nestle in that far corner anyway, but took a huge deflection off Ogbonna. Wrong-footed, Adrian in the goal. I'm sure he'll be claiming it.
Kwesi Appiah going off, another opportunity for Jake Jervis. Donald with the free kick. Wimbledon throw. Arco taking issue.
Well, he tried to allow the ball to run out for a throw into himself, and I think it just came off him last. He just toe poked it out inadvertently. I don't think he was trying to do that. He's put under a bit of pressure here for this throw-in that AFC Wimbledon have got.
Watson. Still he goes on.
Tell you what, Tony, there was a little clip on the heels. That's why the AFC Wimbledon players having a word with the referee as he went forward here. I think it's Masuaku just there, just clipped. If he went over, he would ask the question to the referee whether it was a penalty or not. Certainly once, twice. Yeah, he certainly looked like he caught him. I think he was too honest staying up there, Watson.
Watson almost tripped himself. Either way, it means that Wimbledon do get a corner kick. It's drifted out to Wagstaff.
Wrong decision there from Wagstaff. Looks like he tried to curl the ball towards the far post. Never on to do it. Just put it back into the danger zone where you're defenders are still in there from the initial set play. Just wasted that opportunity there.
David Sullivan hidden away with the black cap in the second row there. One of West Ham's owners. It's just about 9 years since David Sullivan and David Gold stepped in at West Ham to save them from financial meltdown after the Icelandic banks had collapsed, and West Ham found themselves in deep financial trouble. No, but Antonio. Snodgrass. Masuaku. And that's going to be a free kick for simulation and a yellow card.
Well, it certainly looked like there was no contact there as he went through it. You could see no complaints from Masuaku. Got beyond Connolly. I think it's Wordsworth that came across. Never really touched him, just threw himself to the ground, more in hope and expectation that he was going to get something from it. I think he might have just felt the slightest of touches on his back there, and that's why he's went to ground. The referee seen it as simulation and produced the yellow card for him. You still get the feeling though, Tony, with what 11.5 minutes of the 90 left, there is going to be another opportunity for West Ham. I mean, this was the penalty decision. He certainly kicked out of him, and look at the assistant looking right at it. He had the clearest view of all. As Watson went through there, it looked like Masuaku caught him. I'm just looking at the assistant. He waited. And you can see the AFC Wimbledon players going over to the referee. They certainly thought that was a penalty.
No complaints from Penai Watson. His deflection, which almost presented West Ham with a chance to go in front. Javier Hernandez with a shot which was deflected by Watson against the post at 0-0. Nigel now back on his feet. 10 minutes remaining. Anthony Taylor's had a couple of looks at his watch already and made the point that he will be adding this on at the end of the game, which will only add to the unease being felt by the Wimbledon support. Still a few tickets available for this game yesterday evening. Capacity of just over 4,600 at Kings Meadow. New stadium that Wimbledon will be moving to, close to their former home at Plough Lane, will hold around 11,000. Ryan Fredericks. Noble. Bonner. Masuaku. Anderson. Gliding away from a couple of challenges. Well, not even challenges really, just he was able to slalom his way beyond the reach of those getting close to him.
See, at the moment it's just a rear guard action from the Wimbledon players. They can't hold the ball up. They're sitting very deep. West Ham are breaking through comfortably enough. It's just whether they can create one more opportunity. Fredericks penalised there, wasn't it, for the challenge on McDonald? Looked a great deal in it. McDonald went to clear it. Fredericks comes in. He tried to put it on the break. Yeah, he just left his foot there, didn't he? See, the Wimbledon players do look very tired at the moment.
Snodgrass. Antonio Masuaku. A really positive run by Masuaku. Connolly. Jervis. Wordsworth through the middle. And hasty and hurried and wasteful by Nightingale.
Yeah, there's a good build-up play though. Connolly with a little ball down the line there for Jervis, who came in field, picked out Nightingale with a little reverse pass. Thought Nightingale should have just retained possession of the ball. He went for the spectacular from a good 30 yards or so out. And catch the ball, the man who would have liked, never troubled. Hadrian in the goal for West Ham. Just seem to have settled a little bit, haven't they, at the moment? AFC Wimbledon players just regained a little bit of composure.
Antonio did well to dig out the cross, which is helped away by McDonald. Jervis. Jervis was part of a Plymouth team who once earned a draw against Liverpool in the FA Cup before they lost to replay. Antonio. Noble. He simply couldn't keep the shot down.
Yeah, he looks a little bit frustrated there, Mark Noble. He could do a little bit better. Just perseverance, wasn't it, from Antonio to get the ball to him. Once again, once you lean back, Tony, you're always going to get elevation. So you have to get your body weight over the top of the ball to keep it down. Never troubled the goalkeeper there, Ramsdale, with that strike there from Noble.
Neither looks too happy at the moment, either Pellegrini or Wally Downs.
Well, Pellegrini would take a draw right now, and Wally Downs can't wait for that final whistle at the moment. As I said, these Wimbledon players and staff, last 5.5 minutes or so of the 90 left, all he's hoping for is that they can see the game out, just keep the shape. One or two players just stretching off at the moment. They've put so much energy into this game. More credit to them. When you look at the position in League One, bottom of the league, the form of late, which has been very poor, you wouldn't believe it on the evidence of what we've seen in this game this evening, where they've worked so hard and got this 3-2 advantage over West Ham.
Dylan Connolly is going off. Terrific performance. His first start for Wimbledon, having joined them from Dundalk. And the Irish League season, of course, is a calendar year season, which means that he hasn't played a huge amount of football in recent weeks.
Yeah, he's done brilliantly though, hasn't he? You know, he got his opportunity, worked so hard, particularly in that first half, where he was a constant threat down the right-hand side up against Masuaku, created chances. I think he's just run out of steam, to be honest, and hence the reason why Wally Downs has made the change. Just hoping that fresh legs to come on and see this game out.
There's another chance for 19-year-old Toby Civic. Had a couple of games in League One as a 17-year-old. Featured last season in the EFL Cup, the League Cup, another graduate of the fledgling Wimbledon Academy, like a Will Nightingale. Bonner put under pressure by Jervis. They've been hoping to benefit from the introduction of fresh legs up front, with Jervis coming on in place of Appiah.
I'm slightly surprised at the moment that Antonio's gone over to the left-hand side and Anderson come over to the right, because certainly between Fredericks and Antonio, we were working in partnership very well down that right-hand side. Antonio was holding his width, which was allowing Fredericks to get beyond him, and they were creating opportunities that way.
And persistence paying off for the youngster. Wimbledon get the corner. It's a corner there won't be any great hurry to take. They won't be in too much of a hurry to commit too many forward.
Yeah, Wordsworth just going over to take the corner on that right-hand side. Options inside that 18-yard box. He's seen that the West Ham defenders haven't dealt with anything into the box particularly well this evening.
Shilager on the move again, as is Nightingale. Oh, it's a free header, and it's been poured away by Adrian. Did well to deflect the thumping attempt from Will Nightingale away. Well, that really would have been a sealer. Shilager. Now Wagstaff. Noble across to cover. Adrian's beaten, and surely now West Ham are beaten. Toby Sibbick just on as a substitute, the 19-year-old with his first goal for AFC Wimbledon. They are on their way. Surely no way back for Pellegrini's West Ham.
What a ball though, wasn't it, to the back post? And we said about West Ham having dealt with crosses into the box from the first corner. When Nightingale got the free header, the keeper made a great save to keep it out. In fairness to the FC Wimbledon players, they kept the ball alive in that final third. Wagstaff involved, Wordsworth involved. It was a wonderful ball to the back post, and there was Sibbick. But look, there's enough West Ham players back there. Certainly, he's onside. Wagstaff. Noble doesn't get tight enough, early enough. Easy ball into Wordsworth. Well, what about that for a pick out of the far post? You'd be questioning where Diop is, where's Ogbonna, Masuaku, who's left isolated, and it's a simple task for Sibbick just to head it into the empty goal. You can see the goalkeeper's gone for the initial cross, can't get anywhere near it, and it virtually is a tap-in for him to give him a 4-2 advantage.
Five additional minutes we'd have at the end of the 90. It's a night of great emotion. AFC Wimbledon building from the ashes of the Wimbledon club who moved to Milton Keynes, some 40 miles north of London. They took their replica of the FA Cup with them. Then the MK Dons decided to hand the trophy back to the borough of Merton. AFC Wimbledon, formed in 2002. Slowly but surely they've rebuilt, and having seen the previous Wimbledon create their own bit of FA Cup history, both as a non-league club and then as FA Cup winners, putting their own stamp on the trophy now.
Wow, what a substitution from Wally Downs to bring on young Sibbick. That's a moment he'll savour for the rest of his career. Look at the AFC Wimbledon fans, absolutely in dreamland. Showed no form in the league in the lead up to this game, playing against the Premier League side. Scored 4 goals, and every time they put a ball into the box, they've looked a threat. West Ham defensively this evening have been so poor.
Confirmation there that we're going to get another 5 minutes. Antonio, sprawling save by Ramsdale. Goalkeeper did really well.
What a ball though, Tony, wasn't it, for Mark Noble? First time he's really played a forward pass. He's got a runner in behind, chest control. Unfortunately, it wouldn't come down in time. You can see his chest control took it away from him. The keeper was very brave, spread himself, knew he was going to get into a bit of bother there as Antonio came in to try and get a flick to it. He's done very well with the goalkeeper to keep that out.
Ramsdale, just 20 years of age, on loan from Bournemouth, made his debut in the third round win at Fleetwood. After signing for Wimbledon, he spoke of his frustration that he wasn't able to play during the first half of the season. He broke a thumb in pre-season, which meant he spent 3 months on the sidelines. And here they come again with Sibbick. Wordsworth in the middle with Wagstaff. He's only 19, but he knows the drill. Get it to the corner flag, keep it by the corner flag, and don't give the ball away.
Well, the AFC Wimbledon fans are shouting, "We want 5." I mean, they can't believe what they've seen. Obviously, they've come to support the team. over the last few weeks, and they've seen them crash to the bottom of League One. But what a performance, heroic performance from them this evening against Premier League opposition. Yeah, there were times when West Ham got back into it and looked threatening, but to score 4 goals, and the goals that they scored, class. Certainly that last one was with a brilliant ball at the far post to pick out Civic.
Antonio. Anderson took his eye off the ball. West Ham collectively have taken their eye off the ball this evening, and Manuel Pellegrini will know it.
There'll be questions posed to Pellegrini after the game as we see this goal again. It's a wonderful ball. Took the goalkeeper out the equation. Wordsworth to the back post, and there's Civic in behind Masuaku. It was a simple header under no real pressure. But the questions will be posed to Pellegrini after the game about his team selection and the changes that he made at half-time. It had an impact because they went from 2-0 at half-time. Yeah, they conceded quite early, but they got 2 quick goals to bring it back to 3-2, and they looked the more likely to go on and maybe make it 3-3. But to AFC Wimbledon's credit, they got men forward and they got that all-important 4th goal.
Pellegrini criticising his time at Manchester City, wasn't he, when he took the squad away for some warm weather training in January, went to the Middle East and then came back to take on Middlesbrough in the FA Cup. Many suggesting that he didn't give the competition the respect it deserved because Manchester City got back on the Friday. They stayed overnight in Manchester, and then they were thumped by Middlesbrough, one of a couple of home defeats that he suffered in his time at Manchester City to teams from the Championship. This is a team from League One, don't forget, the bottom of League One. Antonio. Anderson unable to tee up a teammate. Snodgrass loses out to Wordsworth. 5th and final minute of second half stoppage time. Antonio defied again by Ramsdale. Masuaku, Antonio, and still they can't force the ball home. Noble. Anderson. Ryan Fredericks. And this time Ramsdale's able to hold on, and that should be it.
Well, it should be it, Tony, but I tell you what, they were 2 outstanding chances for Mikel Antonio. I mean, his touch was good. He got to lift it. He's went for power low, and the goalkeeper spread himself. He got his right hand out there. Done really well there, Ramsdale, to keep it out. I don't think it would really change the course of the result of the game. And then the second attempt that came across as well, he just flashed at it.
What a night for Wally Downs, and what a night for AFC Wimbledon. Downs, once part of the coaching setup at West Ham, once part of the famous Wimbledon Crazy Gang, the Wimbledon team that won the FA Cup back in 1988 before they relocated to Milton Keynes. This is the new Wimbledon, and the team currently bottom of the 3rd tier in England have enjoyed a famous success over West Ham United of the Premier League. Kwesi Appiah got them on the way. Scott Wagstaff scored 2 goals to make it 3-0 before West Ham revived. Second half substitutes Lucas Perez and Felipe Anderson pulling 2 goals back, which meant that Wimbledon had to ride a storm for a time in the second half before Toby Civic, a 19-year-old on as a late substitute, was able to claim his first goal for the club and put the seal on what has been a famous night for AFC Wimbledon. It's been a day of shocks and surprises in the Emirates FA Cup, and this 4th round tie has finished AFC Wimbledon 4, West Ham United 2.